Appreciate you. First question, anybody got one?
Go Rob.
Coach, what's it like just trying to blend veterans like Santi and Josiah in with so many new faces, whether they're transfers or freshmen? How much of a challenge is that?
You know, I think those guys, Santi and Josiah, probably made that easy. Got a really good call the other night from one of our parents that said that when Josiah and Santi decided to come back, freshmen, they were concerned. They said it's been the best thing for their son to have those guys be big brothers to him and lead them and show them the way. And the part blending is not so much them getting along together, because I think we've got a group of guys that really do care about each other. But it's getting the younger guys to understand the urgency of how hard it is to play defense and play the way we want to play. But those guys have been just great mentors for the young guys. But we do have, 4, 5, 6 new guys that are out there at a time that we're trying to get them to understand what it's going to take to win at this level.
Ryan and then Ben.
How much do you anticipate Jonas and Tobe playing on the court together this year, and how much do you anticipate going forward in our lineups?
You know, I think that will a lot depend on who we're playing and the matchups. Both of those guys, I mean, we do have some different ways we can play. You know, we can play with, Josiah Dalton, Jemai Meshack, 4 spot, and because what they can do there. But Jonas and Tobe gives us a totally different look. And, we haven't had a chance to get JP there. I mean, he's got a fractured finger he's been dealing with. It's just, I don't know exactly, but we just know that we're comfortable playing those guys together, but it does give us a different look when we have a smaller lineup out there.
Rick, looking back on the trip to Italy, just how beneficial was that from a team camaraderie standpoint, and are y'all further ahead when y'all started practice last week because of that trip?
I think, we're I don't know if we're further ahead from the trip, but I do think the trip was beneficial in the fact that we wanted to build the camaraderie with the new players and let them have a lot of time together doing something different than what's part of our daily grind, what we do here during the summer. So that part of the trip was really good. I think this time of year, this is a big month for all of us in college basketball, because we know we're all a month away from starting to compete and trying to get everything going, but knowing that we get some time during the summer, we don't want to be tired come March, and so we try to work that. Older guys, I've always thought that older guys don't need a lot, and they can take all you want to give them. Younger guys, they need a lot but can't take it, and physically and mentally, and so that's the part you're trying to blend, and that's where it's important that your older guys help these younger guys understand how to max out and not mistake activity for achievement. And when you're in practice, you gotta go at it. But that's probably, this month is in some ways really a rude awakening for, I think, most freshmen, because it's time now that there's longer practices, more practices, and the grind is tough. But again, I really appreciate our guys and what they're doing and what they're going through. But the older guys, they've been really good mentors for the younger guys.
Grant then Mike.
Rick, how's this team different from teams you've had here?
Well, we scrimmaged Saturday, and we only had 9 guys available, so we had to use a couple of our walk-ons who were excited about them being on our team. And the one thing that was, from, you look at the stat sheet, we made 20 out of 42 threes from the 2 teams combined. But I really believe that the defense was such that I think I could have got off a couple threes, and I can't even do it anymore. But it's hard. I mean, Cam Carr told me he's never been so tired in his life playing the first 4 minutes of that scrimmage in terms of the pace and what was playing. And again, there's no subs. So a lot of guys and we only win a 32-minute game. That's what we went for, 32 minutes. But the fact is that we've got I know we have more depth on the perimeter than we've had since we've been here. And up to this point, we've shown that we can shoot the ball, but I just know that we've got a long way to go defensively. But the fact is, these guys have proven to us that they want to work, they want to be good, and there's definitely a difference right now with the older guys in terms of the tempo and the pace we want to play with compared to the younger guys. But actually, at the end of practice yesterday, I thought there was a glimpse that I'll be able to show these guys today before we do get on the floor that they can do it, because they started playing with the speed and moving the ball the way we wanted it done. Some good cutting action, some random tight basketball that we want to play with, and so we just got to continue to build it today.
You referenced that depth on the perimeter. With that, how important is it that guys like Dalton and Jemai do learn how to play the four just to balance out some of that?
Well, Jemai can do it. I mean, he's done it. I mean, he's basically played every position like Josiah since he's been here. So that, I mean, he'll play any of those positions. And then Dalton learning the whole system, and not just, the two wings pretty much do the same. Point guard obviously is a difficult position to play, and the four with him is different than the way Tobey and Jonas would play in some ways. But learning the organization side of it, understanding that they've got to understand what we're trying to get done out there, and get comfortable with the movement patterns that we want, both offensively and defensively. And I tell our guys all the time, with our defense, it's as much a play as you run as you do with offense. And he's got Dalton's got terrific offensive instincts, and so I think you should have him on the defensive end. It's a matter of a mindset, and he's working at it. I think he would tell you one of the reasons that he came here was he knew that he wanted to get better defensively, and we were recruiting him. And there's no doubt he's going to help us tremendously on the offensive end, but he also knows what we expect from him on the defensive end, and he's point blank has told me, he said, "Coach, that's why I came here. Because I want to be able to learn how to play defense the way that I think it should be played." And so that's fun going forward, because he's got a chance to just get so much better. But he is having to learn a lot quick, but he's embraced it. He's not afraid of it, and it's just a matter of him getting better with it.
Rick, and then Reese in the back.
With all the going back to Tobey, with everything that went into last season and the experience that he got over the summer, what sort of expectations are you looking forward to the jump from year one to year two?
Well, he's a much different player right now than he was. His confidence is totally different. And Tobey was a player that no one's ever ran a play for him. Tried to play through him. We've obviously tried to work doing things with he and Jonas, because we think they both have skills that we can take advantage of, but it's up to us to get them in positions where they can be effective. But Tobey's rebounding, it's just a great talent. It's something that he has an unbelievable passion for. He's got great instincts for it. But he's also, he's gotten better in so many, there's not an area that he hasn't improved in. I think what he did with USA Basketball was a big confidence booster to him. And again, I just think he's got an incredible future ahead in basketball for himself, and one, because he works so hard. I mean, it really matters to him, and he is learning a lot of things right now and he's being asked to do some things that I'm not sure, well, we didn't ask him to do a year ago, but we're asking him to do more and be more of a force on both ends, and we think he can shot block if he wants to. It's in his mindset, because he's so quick getting to the offensive boards. He ought to be that quick getting off the ground to go block shots. And then offensively, we think if he'll get himself off the ground as quick as he can, again, going to offensive rebounds, he ought to be able to do that with the ball in his hand too.
Coach, in the back here, who do you see taking up that number one backup role for the point guard position, or if Zakai's not able to go, the starting point guard position?
What I would say, and I said it to the team almost every day, but I know I said it to them 2 days ago. I'm not really concerned about who's going to start the game. I told them, I said, I'm trying to figure out who we can finish it with. And I think we've got so many different things, different players that, I can tell you we've got 8 guys, 9 guys that I think would be considered starters. I'm again, like I said, the honest answer to that is I don't know. who else going to play out right now, because we haven't had the whole team. Zakai's not back out there totally. He's doing a little bit right now. I would say that I think Chad and Garrett would probably tell you they think he's probably ahead of schedule, but he has done a little bit, started practice each day, and we back him down. Now if it were up to him, he'd practice the entire time, but we won't let him. Tobey's been out a couple days with a concussion protocol, and JP hasn't really done much at all since we started here regular season, and DJ's missed the last couple of practices just due to the fact that he hasn't lived up to what we wanted to do in all facets of the program. So we haven't put it all together, and in terms of putting together the whole thing, I don't know, other than the fact that I like where we are. I think we're going to have a lot of different options, and I think this group of guys, I'm not sure it matters to them. I don't know if I'd say it. I think everybody would like to have their name called before the game and go out, but we just tried to drive home the point. We wanted, who can we count on in the last 5 minutes? We think we're going to be in a lot of close games this year again with the schedule that we play, and we've got to be able to finish those games out.
Ryan, and then Karthik.
How has Freddie grown defensively, and then where is he at being an effective offensive player when he doesn't have the ball in his hands?
Great question. I think he's gotten better in all those areas. I think that he is finding out, like, again, you know what, where he is right now reminds me so much of where Kennedy was. You know, had been asked his whole career to have the ball in his hand and just go create offense, find a way to, you know, come off a screen, go create some offense for your teammates, and shot clock gets down, just get a shot up. And but he's playing, he's learning how to play, but you know, he's got a great attitude about it. I don't think Freddie yet truly understands all he can do and the way he's going to have to continue to, he does know, I will say that he does know what he needs to do, but it's hard. And but he's going to do it because he's got a good attitude about it. He's open to being coached, but to me, he's learning how to play a whole different style of basketball. And it's up to us to get him to do what he does well, make sure he understands how that can blend with his teammates and what they need to do, what he needs to do to play well with them, that they want to play with him, he wants to play with them. Defensively, again, he goes through it like most young players, you know, they lay on screens, you know, they don't realize how fast the game is from going from one play to the next play to the next play to the next play. Young guys normally make one play then stop, then they get to where they make 2 plays and stop, then 3. So it's a matter of getting a mindset that you've got to play the possession, you've got to end the possession. And he's gotten better with it every day, but I mean, I would say it not only any of the young guys, certainly they've got a long way to go to still understand just how hard it is to play the game the way it needs to be played from a cardio standpoint. You know, we talk a lot about cardio toughness. You know, I like to get guys tired and then see if they can play, and it's hard. When you're tired, can you make the right play? Can you make that extra effort play? Those type of situations. And there's not one freshman on our team that's not going through that right now, including Freddie and Cam and the rest of the guys. It's just, again, we're playing against there's 4 or 5 guys out there right now that understand that, and you watch the game practice with them or just practice tape, they see it, and the more we show it to them, and I have seen improvement with them every time we show it to them on tape. The next day you see there is a carryover from the film room.
Karthik?
So later this month, you guys are going to play Michigan State for that game for the Maui relief. What does it mean to you to be able to contribute to helping rebuild that community?
Well, I think it's awesome having the opportunity. I mean, obviously our heart and prayers go out to the families over there that, you know, it's going to be a long comeback for them. And the fact is, you know, Maui, they held on as long as they could, hoping that they could have the tournament there. But with what they're faced with right now, I think with FEMA and everyone over there, it was just really hard to try to put it all together. But the fact is, you know, Maui's been a big part of college basketball for a long time. A lot of great memories and have come out of that tournament. And the fact that they need help, and when it came about and we called Michigan State, there was no doubt in my mind. If you know Tom Izzo, I mean, there was no hesitation. You know, yeah, that's the right thing to do, and they'll sell it out. There'll be a great crowd there. I mean, they have one of the great fan bases in the country, and certainly have great respect for Tom and what he's done through the years, but I think we're both, and the fact we're in it this year, it's just, it's neat that we can play a small part in trying to help that community be built back.
Rob and then Ben.
Coach, I know you've been doing this a while. Have you had a father-son combination like Justin and Jordan before with staff and player? And what have you found out about Jordan as a player since you've been here?
You know, Rob, I don't think I have really, maybe a walk-on or something like that, but certainly from a player standpoint, I mean, Justin should be a proud dad, but you know, he always kind of low-keyed that. But from the time that, I tell the story from the time that Jordan started hanging around here when he first went off to college at US upstate, Spartanburg, he would come to the gym and he'd work out with Jordan Bowden and Lamonte Turner. And I can tell you they all said, Coach, if he ever did want to transfer, we would want him to be in our program. And you know, when he decided it was time that he was going to do that, I think Justin would probably tell you, I was the one that said, we have to have him. You know, it's either him or you decide, you know. Not really, I didn't say that. But the fact is, we knew we wanted him. And I wanted Justin to know that. And I said, you know, we'll recruit him. You don't have to let us recruit him. And Jordan had the opportunity to go to a lot of places. And I think because of, you know, obviously the love he has for his family, and they're a close-knit family, but he's much more than what we thought. We knew he could shoot the ball. There was no doubt. But he's much more than that. He understands it. It's going to be fun watching him continue. I mean, I've watched him now. He's competitive. The guy that can score at 3 different levels. A guy that can get a shot off when he has to get it off. But again, and his body's changed a lot since he's been here. But it's just only going to continue to change more. He's got a really good basketball IQ. He's like I said, he's competitive. Having to do what he has to do every day against the guards he has to play against has been good for him. And we spent pretty much the whole summer playing him at the point. And now he's, because of that, I think that's helped him a lot too, because he can, again, play certainly all 3 perimeter positions. And so we're excited about him, and you know, he's going to be a big part of this team.
Rick, how would you assess where Cade Phillips is at right now, and have y'all made a decision on whether he'll redshirt or not?
You know, there was no doubt when Cade came that we said from the beginning, we talked to him about he was going to redshirt. And because of JP being out, and Cade didn't get to do anything with us this summer, he wasn't able to play on the trip over in Italy. And so his first real work was when when school started. And you know, moving him in through the vitamins but one thing he has done since he's been here, he has spent a lot of time reconstructing his shot, where you know he's gotten much better with that. But to answer your question, I don't know if we can redshirt, because if you ask Santi and Josiah, they would say we can't, because I mean, you watch him every day in practice, and I go home and watch the tape. He's productive. You know, I mean, and he might not even score a basket the whole day. I think actually in the scrimmage the other day when we scrimmaged, Tobey didn't scrimmage, and if I'm not mistaken, Cade was our leading rebounder. He had 9 or 10 rebounds, and he gets things done. He's understanding what we want to do offensively. You know, he's picked it up quicker than we thought, and I would say that he and Cam have probably been the 2 biggest surprises with everything that's going on. But again, as I'm standing here being honest with you, I don't know. I don't know that question. I think it depends on the next couple of weeks how it plays out. But I know one thing: he's got a great future, and he's going to be a guy that's going to help us win a lot of games here. And he's a big part of this program this year and moving forward.
Paige.
With Santi and Josiah returning back for their 5th year, what impact are you expecting them to make in these early months of practice?
You know, the biggest thing I told both of those guys when we talked about them coming back, it was leadership, knowing that we had a lot of new guys in the program. And I told them, I said, personally, coaching staff wise, we're not going to judge you on, because you guys have worked. They've always worked. You know, they've been guys that we know have represented this program the way we wanted it represented. They are guys that you know, they bring it every day. I mean, you know, I get on them like I would anybody else, and they handle that fine. But I said, you're going to be judged this year, really more so than ever, on your leadership. What you're going to do to help these young guys. And when we got the call last week, one of the assistants got it about how they're glad that those guys came back and how much it's helped the young guys. That's what we were looking for, and they've lived up to it. And then, but we expect a lot from those two guys, and then certainly when Z gets back, and Jemiah Meshach's been a big part of it. I mean, those guys have played a lot of big minutes, but again, leadership I think will be the biggest thing when it gets right down to it.
There are two more, Grant and then Reese in the back.
Why do you think Santi and Joe came back at the end of the day?
Well, the good thing about them getting to go out and experience what they can experience through finding out what they need to do, I think both of them, and I think anytime someone comes back like that, I think it shows a lot of maturity in the fact that they ask questions. They certainly have agents that they believe in and have helped them, but when you get down to it, both of those guys are guys that are going to, with or without an agent, they're going to ask their own questions, and they're going to get the feedback. They want to hear the feedback themselves, and I'm sure during interviews they would be the kind of guys that would point blank say, "Hey, what do you think I should do?" or "What do you see me doing? Where would it be?" But I was glad that both of them got to go through it, because next year that's what will be their future. They're going to have to go through it again. And I think there's no doubt both of them would tell you they learned from the tryouts they had and what they had to do, and both of them have come back, and they really better than they've ever been. I mean, if you think about it, this is the first summer that Santi's been here since he's been here, and I think it's shown up. And I mean, we know that he's a machine when it comes to cardio, fitness, and the way he runs around. But you know, he's at a level that he hasn't been, and I think a lot of that has him because he was here for the first time. Josiah has had his best off season where he hasn't missed a day. You know, he's been knock on wood. You know, he's taking great care of his body, which he always has. But the little nagging injuries he had, he's been able to stay ahead of all that, and they've gotten. Again, I think after the feedback, there was no doubt they knew they wanted to come back, and I think it speaks volumes about our program and the university and our fan base here. Both of those guys, they love it here. They love this university, and they know that. And I really think when some of these guys go out and they have people like each of them have people they can talk to about, you know, what's it like up there, what's it going to be like here, and I think some people say, hey, look, it's different. Believe me, when you're in college, that's some of the best years of your life, and I would want to ride that train as long as I could ride it. And I think obviously with the NIL, that plays a part in it now, and so I do think both of them made really wise decisions in coming back.
Coach in the back here, you said, way back.
Yeah.
You said Jordan Gainey has been getting a lot of minutes at the point guard position. What's the difference between him at point guard and Zakai at point guard?
Well, there's a lot there, but just because, you know, Zakai's been with us, and, you know, I think it kind of, after Zakai got hurt last year, I think it kind of, you know, noticed how much he had gone from being a guy that just scored when he got here to where how he became such a good distributor. You know, I think he tied Kennedy's record for assists in a year, what Kennedy had the year before. So he's been around, and Zakai's, they're different. I mean, I do think that when Zakai comes back, I think it's going to really help Freddie and Jordan a lot. He's going to help them a lot because there's nobody on our team that can do what he can do defensively the way he does it. And you know, Zakai's a guy that changes the court when he's out there. I mean, he changes it in a lot of different ways. But Jordan can really shoot the ball, just like Zakai. I mean, they both can shoot the ball. But I'd just say right now the fact that Zakai's been around, he knows it. He's played with these guys longer. He's been able to, obviously he knows the defensive system better, and ball screen defense. That's something that I think Jordan probably has had to learn more, because when he is at the point, you know, he's going to get screened a lot more there in ball screen situation as opposed to when he's off the ball more. But again, he's improved, he's embraced it, and we're just fortunate and blessed that we have them both.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.